How do we afford to live aboard? It's one of the main questions I'm asked by everyone, by you guys, by the people we meet. How do we do it? How can we afford it? So that's what I'm going to cover in this video. I'm not going to necessarily cover the cost, like month to month, break it down. If that's something you're interested in, just comment on below, let me know. But definitely going to go over how we afford to do everything. First and foremost, online. That's what everybody thinks of first. The YouTube channel, of course, once you get to 10,000 views, you can monetize your videos, do it that way. We also have a Patreon if you're interested. And then people who like what we do, like my not so great editing capabilities, sorry about that, I'm learning and trying to get better, or just like the idea of what we do and want to help us along, or maybe want to do it one day themselves, or can't and want us to continue to produce, you know, what we're doing so they can see what it's like. Any number of things. People can go to Patreon and you can pay monthly or per video. You can pay as little as $2 or as much as you want, and every little bit of that goes towards helping us in our journey. Second, working. Nobody likes it, but sometimes it's necessary. Right now, while we're in Panama City, I am waitressing at a brew pub. It's super fun and it gets me daily money so we can save to do our repairs. I'll probably work here about 3 to 4 months before we head on again. My husband can't work, but my 15-year-old son can. We looked across a little boat that was for sale for auction at our marina, and we were able to get it. It's about a $5,000 to $6,000 boat. Normally we were able to get it for $400 and a month free at the marina. So my 15-year-old son's gonna take that time, fix that boat up. Really, it's just cosmetic, and turn around and try to sell it. And that will be his winter job. My 11-year-old daughter has taken up dog watching on boats. For all you dog owners that have one on the boat but can't ever get out for the day, you know, and don't want to take your dog with you, or maybe it's not a dog-friendly beach, or you want to go to the casinos or something like that, she sits on boats and watches the dogs for people. So all of us kind of contribute in a way and work and save and put our money together so that we can continue to cruise. Is saving. So saving isn't making money, but not spending money is making money. We are huge savers. We're total spendthrifts. We do everything the cheapest way we possibly can. For the longest time in the area, we started riding the trolley. I don't know why I have such a hard time with the English language. We started riding a trolley. It was only about 50 cents for each one of us to ride, and we got to know the whole city that way instead of doing a tour or something like that. We got to see everything in the area. We talked to the trolley bus driver. He told us about everything that was happening in town and about all the different areas. Really nice guy. We ended up doing it for $2 because we went 2 different times, thereabout. Every shopping trip we do, we're really spendthrift. We go to the cheapest marinas. If we are at a marina, when it comes to fixing something, we fix it ourselves. We save all of the money that we can. We don't splurge. I think our biggest splurge is usually eating out, because we kind of like to do that a little too much. But I think that's really the only thing that we have. Last but not least, do it ourselves. We do everything we possibly can ourselves. Take, for example, Scott needed a new tool pouch. So instead of going out and spending, I don't know, $20 on a tool pouch, we had the materials here to make one. So he just made one. It took him a couple of days, but he just made it for himself. Any of the projects that we have, we try to do everything ourselves between, you know, my 15-year-old son and myself. And when my husband can work, we're able to get together and fix everything ourselves. We haven't so far come across anything that we couldn't do ourselves. sometimes regulation and things like that. Like we've been in marinas where we couldn't get into the water to clean our hull, and our engine was being worked on by us, so we weren't able to take it out, so we had to hire somebody to clean our hull. Every once in a while something like that happens, but overall we do everything we can ourselves, and sometimes that means taking hours on YouTube and watching people do it over and over and over again in lots of different ways, just to see what would be the best method for us. Make sure that it works, figure out exactly how to do it so that we can do it ourselves. You save so much money when you're not paying somebody else. That all went much faster than I was thinking. Eventually we want to get to the point where we aren't working on the land as much. Maybe we've come up with enough ideas where we can do it while we're cruising. If our Patreon picks up a little bit more, that would be really nice. Just so we have an extra padding, because there are so many things that need maintenance over time that you have to stay on top of, and it's really important, and that money has to be there in order to stay on top of it. So how we initially got started, how we bought the boat, how we got down here, how we actually moved aboard, is we had about a 2,000 square foot home that we lived in, and that me and my husband had worked on and toured for the last, I don't know, 10 years or so together. So we sold that, and everything we owned, I mean every little last thing, on Facebook yard sales, on Craigslist, on to friends, to family, anywhere that we possibly could, and collected all of that money, and that's the money in which we bought the boat with and did all the initial repairs with. And then we have a little bit shoved away in the kitty for emergency purposes.